Hello students, I hope you will be doing well. So today we are going to start another lecture related to alcohols, in which we will be studying about the uses of alcohols. There are lots of uses of alcohols. Um, the first use of the alcohol that is used as a good solvent, like the ethanol. If I talk about the ethanol, so ethanol used as a good solvent. So solvent means anything which can dissolve any solute. So well, the water can also be used as a solvent, but some of the substances which are not able to dissolve in water. So the ethanol is the best option to dissolve those substances which are not able to dissolve in the water. So like it dissolves many substances. So it dissolves many substances that are insoluble in water. Right. So the second use that is it can like kill the viruses and bacteria. It can be it has antiseptic use, right? So like if I talk about ethanol, so it can kill viruses. It can kill viruses and bacteria. So it can also be used as a hand sanitizer, right? Right. So well, the third use that is it can be used as a fuel, right? So ethanol can be used as a fuel, okay? Used as a fuel. Well, it can be burned in the presence of oxygen, that is like a combustion reaction. It can be involved in a combustion reaction. So for that purpose, the ethanol is used uh, as a fuel because uh, it is utilized in a combustion reaction in the presence of oxygen, in which the ethanol is burned, right? So well, it is increasingly used as a fuel for the cars and other vehicles. So like you can say, instead of the petrol and the other higher octane number hydrocarbons. So instead of these hydrocarbons, so the ethanol can be used as a fuel in those vehicles and in the cars, right? So it is increasingly used, and obviously the ethanol which is used in the car and vehicle, so it is used as a fuel because it is burned, and that is what the combustion reaction is. So it is increasingly used. It is increasingly used um, as a fuel for car and other vehicles, right? So that is the thing. These are some of the uses of the alcohols. Now we will be studying about the combustion reaction of the alcohol. Okay. So what does the combustion means? So the combustion means um, anything that have been burned in the presence of oxygen, any hydrocarbon, any hydrocarbon which is burned in the presence of oxygen, it is called combustion, and that reaction is called combustion reaction. So any hydrocarbon, any hydrocarbon which is burned in presence of oxygen, right? So that reaction is called combustion reaction. So in the combustion reaction can be of two types, right? One is called incomplete combustion, and another one is called complete combustion. So what happens in the combustion reaction? Any of the hydrocarbon, it can be either the alkane, it can be alkene and alcohol. So any of the hydrocarbon which is burned in the presence of oxygen and which form the carbon dioxide and water, sometimes the product can be formed carbon monoxide and water. Okay. So whenever there is an incomplete supply of oxygen, means the oxygen is not fully supplied. So the product that have been formed are carbon monoxide and water. So that is what it is called incomplete combustion. In the incomplete combustion, there is uh, incomplete supply of oxygen. Okay, incomplete supply of oxygen, which is provided to hydrocarbon to be burned, and the resulting products are what, which forms carbon monoxide plus water. Okay, so that is the product which is formed in the result of incomplete combustion. Is that clear? So now if I talk about the complete combustion, so in the complete combustion, the hydrocarbon has been burned when the oxygen is supplied fully. When the oxygen is fully supplied, and the product that have been formed are carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so complete supply of oxygen, which forms carbon dioxide plus water. So that are the product which form due to the complete combustion when the oxygen is supplied completely. So obviously you can say, you can understand in other ways, like you can say there is an incomplete supply of oxygen. That means the oxygen is not fully supplied, so that's why it is forming carbon monoxide, means carbon is having one oxygen, so that is representing where like the oxygen is not fully supplied. While on the other hand, if I talk about the complete supply of oxygen, so that means the oxygen is fully supplied there and it is forming carbon dioxide. Now you can see it is forming dioxide, means more oxygen is there. So you can also predict the product in such a way. Okay, so that is the thing you can understand, the difference between these two combustion reaction, in which incomplete combustion and complete combustion. So now how the alcohols are involved, obviously. So if I talk about um, yeah, methanol, if I'm starting with the methanol, so that is CH3OH. So that is the methanol which is burned in the presence of oxygen, obviously. So it will be forming what? Because there is a complete supply of oxygen there. So when there is complete supply of oxygen, so the product that will be forming is carbon dioxide and water. So keep that in mind whenever any of the hydrocarbon is burned in the presence of full supply of oxygen. That is the complete supply of oxygen. So the resulting product will be the carbon dioxide and water. The water is mandatory in both of the combustion reaction. Either it is incomplete or complete, but the water is mandatory. There will be water producing, but the difference will be in the carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. So that is what the methanol. Similarly, for the ethanol, so the ethanol can also burn in the presence of oxygen, that is C2H5OH. It is burned in the presence of oxygen as well and forming the carbon dioxide plus water, right? So now the thing is that how can I balance this reaction? So now you can see here CH3OH, there is one carbon present, and on the product the carbon dioxide having one carbon as well. So it is the carbon are balanced here. Now if I talk about the oxygen, now you can see here there are four oxygens, four hydrogens are there. Okay, if I talk about the hydrogen, four hydrogens are there on the reactant side, while there are two hydrogen on the product side. So I can write two here. Okay, so the hydrogens are balanced here now. Okay, so now the times comes for the balancing of oxygen. On the reactant side there are two oxygen, and on the product side how many oxygens are there? So there are four oxygen are there. So obviously I can put the value of 2. No. So actually there are not 2 oxygen on the reactant side. Actually there are 3 oxygens on the reactant side. Okay. There are 3 oxygen on the reactant side. And how many oxygen on the product side? There are 4 oxygen. Okay. So if I put the value of 3 upon 2, so it will be balanced. Okay. Now how can it be balanced? Well, now you can see here 3 upon 2 means it is 1.5 actually. Okay, and here you can see 2 here. So that means it will be multiplied by 2 and will become 3. So 3 oxygen there and 1 oxygen there. So overall 4 oxygens are there and both the sides oxygens are balanced. So this is the balance equation for this. Okay. Okay, if I talk about this one, so how many there are 2 carbons are present. So on the product side, I will substitute 2 here before the carbon dioxide. So the carbons are balanced on the both the sides. And if I talk about the hydrogen, so there are 6 hydrogen on the reactant side, 5 here and 1 this. So 6 hydrogen. So I will put the value of 3 here. So the hydrogens are balanced. Now how many oxygens are there? On the reactant side, there are 3 oxygens, 2 here and 1 there. So 3 oxygen are there. And on the product side, how many oxygens are there? 2 to the 4 and 4 plus 3, 7. 7 oxygens are there. So how can I balance this? I will write 3 here. So the oxygens are now balanced. Okay. Yeah. So the 6 oxygens will be there and both the sides are balanced. Okay. So this is where the combustion reaction in which in the presence of oxygen, if there is complete combustion, so carbon dioxide and water will produce. And if suppose there are like you can say incomplete combustion, suppose, so it will be like CH3OH reacted with oxygen O2, and it will be forming carbon monoxide and plus water. Okay, so this is where it is an incomplete combustion. So in the exams, it will be mentioned that you have to write down the equation for the combustion reaction of alcohols in which it is incomplete combustion. So obviously you will be writing carbon monoxide on the product side, obviously. And when it is asking you to write the complete equation for the complete combustion. So obviously you'll be writing carbon dioxide here, right? So that is all about this lecture. Thank you so much.